Hello first year. We are going to have a look at adding and subtracting fractions for today and probably into tomorrow as well. So we're going to start with fractions that have the same denominator. So in simple language, that's the same number on the bottom row. In maths, that's the denominator. Okay, now you might look at these and you might think, oh, these are fairly easy. Brilliant. That's really good. You're going to get through these nice and quickly, and that means you can get onto the different denominators. I've started this video off by having a look at two examples that have pictures because I actually think that's quite helpful because you can see visually exactly what's happening. What I hope you then can do is just start to do it without the pictures. So hopefully it's fairly straightforward. If you look at this example, we've got 1/3. So you've got a circle that's cut up into three pieces. I hope you can see that. I'm looking sort of here. That's quite untidy. Don't like that. But I'm looking at the circle, so we can see that we've got 1/3 of the circle shaded in there, isn't it? 1/3 of the circle shaded in there. If we add those two things together, bit of colouring in, I'm just going to shade this in sort of crudely here. This would be shaded in green, as would this bit. Now if we look at that, hopefully we can see that and go, well actually, that's how many thirds of the circle shaded in? I hope we can see that it's 2/3. Now if you look at that and just purely in terms of numbers, I hope you can see that 1 plus 1 equals 2. Yeah, so 1 plus 1 equals 2. Alright, and you'll notice that the denominators stay the same. We don't add the 3 and the 3 together, okay, because we're dealing in thirds. Our circle has been cut into 3 pieces, not 6 pieces. So the denominator stays the same, and actually what we've done there is added together the two top numbers. Now I'm just going to remove that highlighting, but I'm going to leave that answer. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Alright, next example, similar idea, except we've got a rectangle this time rather than a circle, and it looks like we're working in sevenths, so I hope that's been chopped up into 7 pieces, which it has. We've got 2 shaded in the first fraction, so these 2, and then we've got 4 shaded in the second fraction. If we pull all that together, how many bits will be shaded in? 4 plus 2 should be 6, shouldn't it? So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so that means we've got 6 shaded in, so that would be 6/7. Again, look at the numbers, 2 plus 4, 6/7. So that makes perfect sense. The third example, no picture. Do we need the picture? Probably not. The picture is just there just to give you an idea of what's happening. Alright, but if we've got 5/14 and then we add another 2/14, that's going to be 5 plus 2, 7, 7/14. Now, some of you might be looking at that going, I can spot something about 7/14, and I'm hoping that you're looking at that going, Mr. Jack, that would simplify. Okay, if you see a fraction that you know you can simplify, then you should simplify it. So we can divide top and bottom by 7 to get 1/2, can't we? Alright, if you're dealing with fractions and you can simplify your fraction, you should always do it. It's a really good habit to be in. So that would give us 1/2. Alright, so that is adding and subtracting fractions. If it's subtraction, we obviously take the two numbers away. So if I was to pop in just very quickly, let's do an example 4. Let's do, well, why don't we make it 5/14? Whoops. Take away 2/14 this time. So instead of adding, we're going to subtract. The 14ths stay the same, so you can write that down straight away. If you're adding and subtracting your fractions, you know you're working in 14ths, so just write that down straight away. Then we're going to take 2 away from 5, which would be 3/14. Now that doesn't simplify, so that is our final answer done. Okay, sometimes it'll simplify, sometimes not. Easier to spot if you know your times tables, but worth paying attention to. So adding and subtracting fractions with the same denominator, pretty straightforward. We add the two numerators or subtract them if it's subtraction together. So the top numbers we either add or subtract depending on what we've been asked to do. The most common mistake is to add the two bottom numbers together, the denominators together. Please do not do that, okay? You can see from the pictures why that's the case, all right? We're still working in thirds in that first example and sevenths in the second example. So leave the denominators the same. Do not add those together or subtract them away from each other. They stay the same. I hope that makes sense. That should be enough for you to do the first part of the worksheet. I will do a second video that talks about how to deal with fractions with different denominators, which is ever so slightly more challenging, but it draws on some of the same skills that we used when we were ordering fractions. If you're struggling, if you're not sure, please get in touch. Thursday between 10:25 and 12:20 I'll be available to give you an instant answer, and then again on Friday between 9:35 and 10:25 I'll be around. Okay, outside of those times you can post questions, it's no problem. I just might not be able to get back to you straight away, but I'll do it as soon as I can.